draws a love triangle. No, this is not much register. I am talking about two men and their love for a machine. She's massive, she's luminous, she's powerful, and she's going steady with two loves, the father and the son. And both can't seem to keep their hands off her. She is the Norton Dominator 88.
She came in slightly later than my big boss. So, but that's always my first wife. Here's my second wife.
Vijay Kumar has always grown up studying bikes, collecting and restoring them. Now the son Harun follows suit, but first he had to pass an exam set by his dad.
My son was interested in bikes right from his young age. In fact, he was supposed to be a master cyclist. And then when he wanted the bike, I've had the bike from 1969. So since it's not easy to get parts or mechanics to work on these old machines, I asked him to first totally strip the machine down and then reassemble it to see whether he could do it. Of course, in case he wouldn't have been able to, if he had missed out on anything, I would have helped him out. But then he was able to do it totally by himself. Then I said, okay, now you can have the machine.
This 1962 Norton Dominator 88 came into Vijay Kumar's life in 1969 as a second-hand buy. Some parts had to be restored or replaced. The handlebar, tail lights and exhausts are borrowed from the Norton Dominator 88 SS, a sportier version of the Norton Dominator 88. Harun, however, took charge of it 6 years ago and worked on plating and other minor improvements. The Dominator is sure in good hands.
The Mikuni carburetor was suggested by my friend because he said that would give you a better performance, better mileage and ease of run. All this I've done for the basic, it's all done for ease of ride. And of course the engine, it belongs to this bike, it's not being changed. It's a basic twin cylinder, 500cc.
This silver black beauty runs on a 12 volt power than the original 6 volt. 12 voltage means louder and more powerful horns. While Vijay Kumar and his wife have had their share of fun on long rides, it's time they allowed the Gen Next to have their share too. Let's focus now on Gen Y and Z. Here's Aisha Rao, who's putting together an interesting festival for them, keeping in mind their favorite characters and elements in a story. Aisha once had a little dream. She wanted to introduce her children to interesting theatre workshops in the city. But she didn't find any, so she took the little team of hers and established her own little theatre. The entire world became a stage then, not just for her two children, but for all the children of the city. It's just called the Little Theatre, but it's quite the opposite.
I had thought of having a theatre festival for children, and I've been thinking about it for many years. But it's finally happening this year, and this year I have 3 countries participating. That's India, South Korea and Germany. Next year, we hope to have 7 countries participating in this theatre festival.
In the past 19 years, from 2 children, it's grown to nearly 100 children per workshop every year. And now it's going international.
This particular production demands that I use 6 actors, where there are about 14 characters, which means a lot of my actors are going to be doubling as other characters, and it's quite a challenge to train them to do at least 2 roles. So it's like one is aggressive and hard and everything, and the other is completely soft. And he has to be able to make the change and hold it and be consistent with it.
Little Theatre's famous pantomime, conducted year on year, has children staging stunning performances. And the same children are all set to manage the house during the 9-day festival scheduled between June 10th and 19th. Each of the productions is for children, but not enacted by them. Little Theatre's production in this festival will have professional theatre artists who started their careers with this company.
We have a bunch of characters. We have a grandmother, we have a prince, we have them all inside a kingdom. And we have the protectors of the kingdom, who are 2 mighty warriors. Now this is a search and rescue mission where the prince gets lost. And if the prince is lost, Jumba will lose all its color. Jumba is the kingdom. And if it's a colorful, beautiful kingdom, but if the prince is lost, he's away from the kingdom, then it loses its color. And so now there's a search and rescue mission to find the prince and what really happened and why he's lost and how they bring color back to Jumba. That's really what the story is about. But inside this, we have a dragon that comes in, and a dragon's egg, and the bad guy, Avocado, who's a chef. So how they all fit in is really what the story is all about.
Little Theatre's play in this festival has all the elements to keep the children and the child in you happy. Song, dance, dragons, and humor.
What I'm doing here is I'm making the choreography, since it's for children, I'm trying to make the choreography simple enough that if a kid is watching it, he should, after the play, he probably goes back, doing 1 or 2 steps from each character. It depends who the character is. Like he's playing a narrator and another person is playing something else. So each person will have a particular way of doing that step, which might look funny to a kid. So and he probably catches that and he goes out.
The script for the play is by Krishna Kumar, an actor who has recently set foot in Kollywood with the film Kadaladi. The plot is quite thrilling, with characters that every child has picked from different stories.
And a frightening chill will run down your spine. This is the tale of Jumba.
That sounds like so much fun. Head to Egmore Museum Theatre to catch the show on June 10th and we'll meet there. But before I leave, if you have an interesting machine or an interesting mush story to jazz up our visual version of the city's favorite supplement, the mail ID is feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. See you next week.